So good evening. Once again, we are back with our live talk show in 5 channels, golfbangladesh.com. You can watch all this YouTube, then Facebook, also in LinkedIn, and also Twitter. So today I have my guest from India, and he is Mr. Shivas, a golf industry insider and resource. Also, he is involved in junior golf development and mentor. He is also a talk show host of talk shows and writer, and also advisor on golf infrastructure. So, welcome, Mr. Shivas.
Oh, it's lovely to be on your show, and thank you so much for inviting me here.
Okay. So I think your sound is getting a little distracted. That's not issue. I think it will be all right the more we go in progress. Okay. So I wonder many of us may not know you, but I know you. You are a leading industry personnel in golf in India and also in Asia. You've been involved for a long time in Asia, Middle East, and also India with golf. So tell us something about your start or your journey with golf. How did you start with this golf?
Well, Charles was a fairly good amateur golfer in my younger years, and I competed in several national and international events. Was frankly never good enough to turn professional, and I think that's one of the good decisions I made. I had the understanding and discipline and that ability to work that extra bit harder to be a professional. And but thereafter, of course, I went to college and I graduated from law school as well. But eventually, after spending several years, over a decade in my family business,
At times you're getting
I
frustrated.
decided I wanted to do things in my sport, which is also golf. And giving back to my sport, junior golf particularly was a very good starting point for me. Just to work with kids, get young kids into the game. It was very gratifying and satisfying.
Hello. At times you are not audible. Can you hear me?
Yeah, Joe, I'm here.
Okay. But at times I was missed.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay. Now I think it is better. It is now better. Okay. Okay. Let me come back. Yeah. So thank you very much. So you started. You said long 25 years before your journey started with golf. You've been a top amateur also in India, if I'm not wrong. So tell us something now about
Right.
your media involvement. You've been involved in hosting some talk show. You wrote number of articles on golf. You're a golf writer. So can you tell us something the role of media for development of golf?
Well, so the thing again here is that there are two different sides. Being a talk show host, it's a very interesting job. I've done a bunch of gigs for TaylorMade, particularly during the lockdown. There's a lot of script writing that also goes into putting together talk shows, particularly when you have some of India's top golfers, top cricketers, top sports persons who are part of the show. It's a skill to kind of weave the whole story in. So there, I believe that the fact that I have skill as a writer allows me to script in a story. So if the audience or the subject is about junior golf, you kind of weave in different aspects that actually allow a parent as well as a junior golfer or a young elite golfer to learn something by asking the professional golfer or the sportsman a question that something that would not really be asked otherwise. It's something that it's a question such as what is fear and how do you really advise a younger player to overcome fear? Now that's something which is just spoken about. It's not something that you can read about. You have to have gone through the experience to actually be in a position to speak about that. So it's nice that I've had the opportunity through some friends to host talk shows, and I've thoroughly enjoyed that. I've also hosted a couple of online live interviews with Tony Jacklin, with Annika Sorenstam for a live audience. A couple of hundred people in the hall. These were overseas, not in India. So it's been fun. The writing side of it, of course, is I like to take a position and put an opinion out there, which is again fun because whether it's a review for a US Open that just concluded yesterday. Uh, well, it'd be interesting to know that I didn't frankly give Bryson DeChambeau much of a chance. And I stand by what I wrote, and I think that's something that a lot of people enjoy. That it's not a piece that says, okay, maybe this one, maybe that one. I pick my 3 or 4 winners. I give my own compelling reasons for those, and I'm happy to engage in healthy banter over it because I just didn't think a guy like Bryson DeChambeau's game plan was going to work. With the distances he hits the ball, I just believed he was going to be hitting a lot out of the rough. But obviously, he's proved me certainly wrong and a bunch of other people. But it's fun to get the guys talking about it. So that's again, the area I like to take a position and write about because it kind of creates conversations amongst the golfing community. And of course, I'm always open to opinions from multiple people and friends.
Great to listen all this from you.
So yes, to answer the third part of your question, the third part of your question, of course, was about media. So yes, the media does definitely play a strong role in shaping the awareness levels of the audience in terms of a sport. Golf in particular, I do wish that it is going to get more exposure, more airtime, more columns in the newspaper, particularly when we have professional golf tournaments, amateur golf tournaments, junior golf tournaments. Right now, we're very lucky in India if it actually makes it to the sports page at all. Maybe if there's an event in one of the smaller cities. I've been involved with some events with my good friend Shiraz Kalra. He's been a guest on your show as well in Lucknow, and there he's very good with the media, and the media comes in and covers the events and takes great photographs. But in a place like Mumbai, where I live, well, it's cricket all along, really. So it's then there's a bit of badminton, which is also pretty good.
Yeah, it is. As I also talked to some other journalists from the country. Yeah, like Swami or Bikramjit Singh or Ravin Bose, a golf writer. All the journalists they came to my show. They say it's the same thing: space in newspaper and time in electronic media. Yeah, it is. Golf is getting less everywhere. Can I shift the subject a little now to your industry back? As you are involved in industry for a long time, and I also find our friend Mr. Jubin Basil has joining from Mizono, India. Welcome, Mr. Jubin. In audience column, I find he has joined. So he was here also. So tell me something about this industry. I mean, what is should be the big step to the growth of golf industry in India, in Bangladesh, and if you say about Asia, how do you find that big step? What is that big step to the growth of golf industry?
Well, that's actually a great question. And before I answer that, I want to say hello to my good friend Zubin as well. Zubin's a dear friend, and he's doing a wonderful job with Mizuno India and Cobra and a couple of other brands. So he's a good friend of most people who are serious stakeholders in the golf industry. The big step. Well, that's again a good question, and again, there are several ways to look at it. Well, the first thing, of course, is that Asia, and let's just talk about Asia, and of course that includes the Indian subcontinent. You folks in Bangladesh, my friends in Sri Lanka, Nepal, Pakistan, India, of course. We're largely influenced by Western media when it comes to golf instruction. We're largely influenced by Western media when it comes to golf equipment. We're largely influenced by golf writers, again, who are based out of the West. And I think the guys in the East have pretty much their own culture. Culturally in the East, we're a little different. And I'm not really sure if the Western system works within the Eastern framework. Of course, Korea's had a bunch of success stories, as has Japan. A bunch of the other Asian countries have shown that there's a lot of golfing talent. So I think that we have to really learn a lot from the West in terms of developing infrastructure. That's again driving ranges, public golf facilities, and adapt it to the Asian culture or the Eastern culture, as I like to allude to it. So there's a lot that can be done in that space. Again, there are big American brands in the space of golf retail, but there are some wonderful Asian brands as well.
Yeah.
Warwick golf balls are pretty good. Mizuno's a fantastic lineup of clubs. You also have Strixon, Bridgestone, again, great Asian brands. And there again, I'd love to see more international events happening in Asia if the sponsors could actually put in some money, because certainly the big names coming to Asia brings more eyeballs as well to the game. We've had a couple of PGA Tour events in Korea and Japan. It's not unfortunately happening this year. Malaysia has been happening for a while. So yeah, well, the big step really is for the Asian countries to come together, maybe set up an Asian golf uh, federation, but that can actually do something meaningful to grow the game. But there again, each country is going to be driven by its own, powerhouses, their own associations. But the key really is that you need sports people leading the association. The guys who should have played for the country before, the guys who should have played golf at a reasonably high level. They need to understand what the needs of setting up a junior academy is, what the needs are for a player when they're out there, boys, girls, with managers going out there, the needs of players at professional golf events. It's always player first. I mean, of course, the sponsor brings in the money, the media amplifies it, but you've got to make sure your players are happy. There are subtle things that need to be done. Hosting tournaments in golf courses that are playable, sending out a team that actually sets up the golf course in a fair manner. It's a junior event. You can't have golf courses too long, too short. So I'm not speaking particularly about any country here or beating down anybody. It's just about creating a system that is sustainable and allows more people to come into the sport and stay in the sport and grow in the sport. So I think that's really important for us, Chow in Asia, to make sure that each of us individually or collectively can just drive more numbers and make golf more of an open sport rather than exclusionary.
I'll come back. I'll come back to your listening to your more experience in the industry and also your footprints. I like to hear and share your experience there. Just let me show again another small video clip on our golf players, especially leading amateur players. As I had the request in between the show, I show them. So today I have the bunch of amateur players, leading amateur players from Bangladesh.
লাল সবুজের পতাকা নিয়েই এগিয়ে চলেছে বাংলার ছেলেরা। ওদের বুকে আছে সাহস আর চোখে আছে স্বপ্ন। এই সাহস আর স্বপ্ন নিয়ে এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে তারা।
ফ্যামিলির কাছে এবং দেশের কাছে এটাই আমার প্রতিজ্ঞা, গলফকে আমি এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাবই। কঠোর পরিশ্রম এবং একান্ত চেষ্টা দিয়ে আমি আমার লক্ষ্যে পৌঁছাতে চাই। সকলের রাস্তায় আমাকে অনুপ্রাণিত করে ভালো গলফ খেলতে এবং এগিয়ে যেতে। আমি সর্বোচ্চটা অর্জন করতে চাই, তাই নিজেকে উজাড় করে গলফ খেলি আর ছিনিয়ে আনি বিজয়।
আমি নেতৃত্ব দিতে পছন্দ করি, তাই সামনে থেকে গলফ খেলে বাংলাদেশকে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যেতে চাই।
বাংলাদেশ ন্যাশনাল গলফ টিমের পাশে থাকতে পেরে আমরা গর্বিত।
Thank you very much, Mr. Ashia and his company BTI, those who are sponsoring the national team for a long time of Bangladesh. Once again, thank you, guys, the members of national team of Bangladesh. I am honored and privileged to show you guys. Again, hopefully, inshallah, in future, I'll be doing this for you. So these are the guys now, number one national team of Bangladesh, about 5 to 6 guys, and they're being sponsored by a company, Mr. Ashia. Many may of India may know. Okay, Mr. If I am correct, Shivas, I like to know your insight. Like, how many you have been long time, 25 years. Can you share some experience of your footprints? I mean, your experience working golf industry or creating some infrastructure, your experience there, or tell us something about your project, that exciting project that you undertook.
Well, I mean, I've been a part of several exciting projects, and one of the first exciting projects that I was a part of in India was working along with the Indian Golf Union to set up the feeder tour system across India, because we had a lot of junior golfers competing on the national tour, and myself, along with an dear friend Romit Bose, and from Southern Zone we had Jack Chakota. Uncle Jack, as we allude to him, because his son JJ runs some a wonderful business under the brand Three Below. I'm sure Three Below clothing is very popular in Bangladesh. Well, I'm wearing one of those as well tonight. And we set up a plan back then about 10, 12 years ago to actually create a feeder tour. So in each zone, west, south, north, and east, the kids could play golf at different courses, compete at a local and a regional level, and basis that get more competition play. Because again, it's my personal belief that for a young player, or regardless of age, or even for a young professional, the more tournament rounds that they're going to get to play, the better they're going to get, the more they're going to learn. It's quite different playing, friendly golf, and it's quite different playing tournament golf. So we set up a very robust program. Because 2 years I worked closely with Romit and Jack in the Indian Golf Union to set that up from 2010 to 12, and then I ran it from 2012 to 2017 for a good 7 years. So that's something I'm very proud about. The other one was, of course, working with the European Tour. At that time, I was also spending a lot of time in Dubai. And we had a wonderful golf program called Snag Golf, starting new at golf. It's an acronym. And for the European Tour, we ran their junior golf zones for 3 years at the Dubai Desert Classic, Omega Ladies Masters, the Abu Dhabi Open, the Qatar Masters, as well as in Bahrain. And that was a great learning, working with an international organization such as the European Tour. We also did 2 events for them in India. At that time, we had the Avanta Masters as well, and of course, our Indian Open. And that kept me very busy, built for me a lot of experience, a lot of learnings, a very nice international network. So that's really what my personal grassroots are, which allow me to today contribute to giving back to my game in a small way. And currently, there are a couple of really nice projects I'm working on. One's actually with a little bit of a small startup business that my sons have started. It's called 24/7 Golf. That's TF7G on my shirt. And that's a direct-to-customer model for golf equipment. Basically, some products have been reviewed by us, curated by the boys, and it's an online business, and they're doing fantastically well. They're getting support from all the big brands. Mizuno, of course, is here. Zubin, Cobra, the guys at Strixon, Rahul Khanna, fantastic. TaylorMade Golf, again, a big supporter, 3 Below. And a lot of the other big brands are also now taking their business seriously, and the boys are doing well. So I've just kind of, set it up for them, and they're moving on well. And more recently, there's a Indian golf ball manufacturer that goes by the name of Plus91, which is also the country code for India. And they've come up with some really nice balls that we decided to start doing some work together. So I was just chatting with them the other day, and I mentioned to them about your wonderful show. And I said, hey, Bangladesh is literally just hop, skip, and jump. So maybe we need to get some of your golf balls across to Bangladesh. So I'm going to speak with Chow, and maybe he can hook you guys up with a potential distributor and do some wonderful.
Yeah, we look for it. Yeah, we have been already working for long time. It's quite a long time. We are in touch with Indian counterparts in industry in official tournaments with the sponsors, like even some architect also recently, and Mr. Bijit, golf architect, is there. I mean, he'll be here in Bangladesh, working, and also Mr. Wing Commander Arun, Mr. Arun, Wing Commander Arun. So, and again, PGA is in very close touch with us. They have been conducting tournaments for a few years. The Corona has just had a stop for 6 months. Maybe in future again we will work. And industry is the place where we are back. And I mean, we don't have anyone from golf industry in Bangladesh, agency or businessman or the I must say Jubin is one of the very sole agent of Mizuno in India, as I understand. He directly the agent of Mizuno. Am I correct there?
That's correct, yes. Zubin represents Mizuno in India and likely for the Indian subcontinent. So, you should talk to him about getting Mizuno across to Bangladesh as well.
He's the only guy. It is the only brand. Those are directly represented in India, yeah?
So, the thing is, it's very cool to do a lot of these things. And I've also been involved with golf course design. I run the Nicholas Design business for the Indian subcontinent. We had an inquiry actually from Bangladesh. I can't, of course, name the client, but 5-6 years ago. But unfortunately, that project didn't quite make it. But I'm sitting right now in Ahmedabad.
Sorry to interrupt. Yourself also, you design courses? Code designer, you are?
No, I run the Nicholas design business for the Indian subcontinent.
Okay.
So I've been up to Sri Lanka as well to have a look at sites along with the design team. So I'm more on the marketing side and the business.
Okay, of Nicholas. Okay. So
and we very recently
a lot of questions, comments we are getting in. So just let me read few of those. A lot of comments like as I said already about Juven. Next, Mr. Virajan Nath. He's written, given the fact Western players are driving 375 years, are not Asian players at a disadvantage? I'll come back. Miss Busra Shafia, best of luck. Busra Shafia wants to know, Major Mahmood, what do you have to do to be a good golfer? I'll come to that later. Busra, it's me, Busra. Okay. I think she is known to me. I'm interested in golf. Okay. And from which age we can start golf? All this. Okay. One question that was thrown to you. What's about the driving distance that Western and Western players do have is 375. Why not Asians? Are they not in disadvantage? What do you say?
Sorry, I didn't catch your question. Could you just repeat that, Chair? I didn't catch your question.
Okay, so Virjan Nath, he wants to know, Western players are driving 375. Isn't it disadvantage for Asian players?
Well, the thing again is, I think some of the Asian players are pretty strong individuals, and well, I don't think it's really disadvantageous when we're talking about Bryson DeChambeau. I mean, obviously he's the hot topic right now. I think his work ethic is just outstanding. He's using his understanding and his intelligence to, and of course he's a scientist. They call him a mad scientist, and his understanding of physics to create golf clubs along with Cobra. That are going to give him is giving him a significant advantage. He's working personally with shaft companies that actually, again, give him that significant advantage. He's uses one length irons, so he basically works the one plane swing philosophy. I'm not, of course, a golf coach, but yes, I am reasonably good with understanding how golf equipment works. So I don't think it's a massive disadvantage because I think well, he's ahead of the graph and at 360, 340, 370 yards, whatever he's hitting it at. But as far as the field average is concerned, I think there are a lot of Asian players who are strong. They're technically very, very sound. They managed to get fit for some very good custom fit equipment, and they can hold their own with the best. And well, of course, let's put it this way: we are in Asia, the land of yoga, the land of Buddhism, mental peace, mental calm. So those are the inherent advantages we have closer home. So, well, you can be as brawny as you want, but a skill set without a good mindset. I mean, it's a good combination to have. So one can't work without the other.
Okay.
So not really a disadvantage, I would say.
Yeah, not that. Yeah, it is not. Okay, so she's Miss Busra. She wanted to know how to start golf. She is known to me. For your information, you should start. I mean, what age you start? You wanted to know. Yeah, it is 5 years. 5 years to 12 years is key days. If I'm not wrong, as a rules official and experience from 2 decades, I can tell you should start it from 5. It's better. And up to 12 and 13, just enjoy. Don't go for technical skill. You don't require to learn golf. You require what is golf only. And if you want to play golf, then you can visit any golfing club, any golf club in Bangladesh. There's 22 on all the cantonments, and also outside there are 5 to 6. So anyone you visit and contact the driving range officials, you'll find their coaches, professionals standing for you. You first learn how to play, and there is academy also. 2 academy you can contact Bangladesh National Academy. Thank you very much, Busra, for your comments. Okay, so Mr. Shivas, we were talking, that is 375 years driving distance is not that disadvantage, especially in Asia. We have the length of the courses are not that much. This 375 required for American golf courses. The US modern golf course, the distance is more than 8,000. In India and Bangladesh and Asian subcontinent, especially Asia, in Asia, golf courses are not that big in comparison to Europe and America. So in Asia, you don't require 375. If it is around 300, I think it's not that bad. What do you think, Mr. Shivas?
Well, of course, some of the American courses are long, big, brawny courses. So, well, it would work there. But again, I've always believed that, well, you're right, of course, at your level, that some of the Asian courses are shorter, so they put a significant premium on accuracy as well, or a mix of accuracy as well as, length. But eventually, well, they get, like other sports, even if you look at tennis, you look at badminton, the players are getting stronger, the players are getting fitter, the equipment is making them faster, play faster, hit the shuttle faster. Graphite rackets came in after aluminum came in after wooden rackets, and the same thing's happening with technology in golf as well. So everyone is hitting it faster, everyone's getting fitter, everyone's getting technically more solid. So yeah, well, time will tell, but I don't think it's disadvantageous to the Asian player beyond a point.
Okay. Just listening to you, it reminded me one question. I wanted to ask about you about how you spread the golf in root level. I'll come later to that question, but then before that, I want to know. We know always it's a elite game, or golf is a game of upper class. What do you think? Should we not change the narratives of golf?
100%, Chow. And that's something that's very close to my heart. Back at my home club, Bombay Presidency Golf Club, I've kind of volunteered my services to them to spend some time with some of the caddies as well. Because that's the other end, India's always had a great culture of a lot of caddy turned professional golfers. Yesterday, I spent some time with our legendary Rohtas Singh's son. You even look at someone like an SSP Chaurasya. I mean, his beginnings in Calcutta have been very, very humble. Muniappa, again, Indian Open winner. So, and then of course, then you have the elitist lot, and then you have the defense personnel, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, because 50% of India's golf courses are owned and controlled by them. So, yes, I think it's very important that, at least in the bigger cities, well, what I would call the middle income group, they should be welcomed onto the golf course. It should not be an exclusionary atmosphere. And there's a lot of talent in there. It's just that they need to have the opportunity to hone it, to learn it, to experience it, to even hold and swing a golf club. But there again, it's a chicken and egg situation. It's been a decade since I think the government or the authorities need to set up public facilities, public golf courses, public driving ranges. I mean, the ones that exist in my particular country, I can count them on one hand, the fingers of one hand. So, unless that's going to happen, the country club, it's not the sport that's expensive. It's the membership of the clubs that's actually expensive. I mean, I do a lot of work in the space of badminton as well. I mean, a badminton racket can cost 20 to 30,000 rupees.
That's what we have been talking about, Mr. Shivas. That's where I wanted to talk, because I had been talking with a lot of Mr. Arun Singh and others from British Scotland golfing, some guys from Scotland also, about taking the golf to the root. If you want to do that, then you have to change the narratives. Why it should be expensive? Why should we can reduce the expense? Like, why always we intend to invite membership with exchange of money and 9-hole, 18-hole? Why not we go for 3-hole course, 1-hole course, only driving range, and spread the golf?
Well, see, there again, I can't see a private developer putting a driving range or a golf course up for not wanting profit back, because the private developer is a business person, right? So the only people that can step up are actually the state or the national governments. Who else is going to do that? I mean, if you want to really promote something and create an activity for your people, that's not the job of private people like yourself and myself, or a person who runs a business. They do it properly.
Why not? That is my point, Mr. Shivas. Why not? Why not, as an industry man like me or you, can invest or inspire investor to invest for a driving range, along with some other golf facility like swimming pool or gym, and do business out of there? Why not? We can think of generating revenue from there, right there, from small facility like driving range, swimming pool.
The thing is, well, again, each sport is different. I mean, again, I've done some work in badminton where the infrastructure to set up 3 courts or 5 courts is less than the land you require to set up 1 golf hole. I mean, the land requirements or the infrastructure requirements are just significantly less. But when you talk about a golf course or a driving range, again, as I mentioned, I've been in this space or this industry for a long, long time. There have been private investors who've shown interest. But then again, at some point of time, without going into details, it gets very hard to get permissions or licenses or to use certain tracts of land to actually set up a sports facility. And then along the way, the person who's actually doing it for the love of the sport just loses interest, because if the government's not going to support it, even if they're not willing to pay for it, they must at least then provide the licenses or the permissions for you to do that. But if at every point there's going to be some sort of a stumbling block, then, frankly, I've tried to work along with 2 or 3 serious developers or landowners to put something together over the last several decades. It didn't work out very well.
Okay.
Because it just gets difficult to work around the government.
In our subcontinent or Asia, but my personal experience says in USA, they have more than 22,000 golf courses. In Japan, they have more than 17,000 golf courses. In Scotland alone, they have more than 7,000. In China, they have more around 700. In England, they have more than 2,000. So, sorry, in Scotland, it is around 3,000. And in England, it is more than 2,000. So, these courses, like 22,000, I'm talking about USA, these are all not 9-hole or 18-hole. These are 1-hole, 2-hole, 1 driving range, just like a football field. It's a matter of 300 years plus minus, and width is something like that. So, I mean, the USA model nowadays, it is just our Scottish or British, what they have left us about golf. Then why we cannot change that narrative and go out from there and invest some small facility?
That's something that I really can't answer, because, well, frankly, I'm not part of the government and I'm not part of our sports association either. And that's something that is something that's really beyond your control or my control. Culturally, we have to...
No, I don't want to know about government. I wanted to know about a private investor, being your industry man, golf industry man. What your idea? Why don't we can, as a golf involving golf industry, why don't we can take initiative? Why you look at the government developing small golf facilities and spreading the golf at the route?
Well, the thing is, you'll be surprised if I told you that it actually starts very strongly. As I mentioned to you, I run the Nicholas design business in India and the Indian subcontinent. There are several clients that we have engaged with at several levels. There are several renders that we've actually put together. We've done several site visits. We've actually looked at the gradation plans. We've also created 3D renders for clients. And then somewhere down the line, because of a land-related issue or an ownership issue or a clearance that doesn't come from the environmental ministry or from the local state government, there's just so many permissions and so many layers that we have to go through to make a project viable. And if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So I can tell you that literally 1 out of 10 projects, and it could be even a pitch and putt course. We've even looked at par 3 courses, because every developer doesn't have massive tracts of land to put up a 8,000 or a 7,000 or a 6,000 yard course in a driving range and an academy. Some are just pitch and putt courses or par 3 courses, and 1 or 2 were just even 9-hole courses. Didn't go through. Now that's something which, again, I can't say more on obviously a public platform, but it is what it is. That's something we just have to learn to live.
Yeah, that's where we may focus in future, because what Scottish and British have left us, R&D is thinking, where I think personally, being a level 3 qualified officials of R&D, I think there we lack our governing bodies or the thinkers or architects. We have lack of architects also. Why it is like gully cricket? You see, you don't require a cricket stadium to play cricket. You can play anywhere in around your house. And also, as you have been talking about badminton and others, you don't require always a standard courts or standard stadium to play football. So why for golf? We can also take it to route and play and design as they want, as we want. The route level people with very less space, maybe joint or facilities shared by other sports also. Yeah, days may come. I'm telling that, yeah, the days may come. We may think something new about spreading golf in route. So do you have any more idea on spreading golf to the route, grassroots level?
Well, no, that's pretty much it. But the thing is, again, alluding back to your concept of playing golf in the streets. Well, a golf ball is a fairly dangerous object, and safety is a concern. We've had some scenarios where golf balls leave.
Same thing we have in cricket. Cricket ball is not same thing you have for cricket. You have the same cricket ball. You have innovated some plastic balls. So you also innovate for golf. I mean, it's same thing, something like cricket. that safety issue you're
We've
talking
done
about.
that,
Go
as I
ahead.
mentioned, in the snack program. Snack program had many tennis balls, which are safer. So that was created for children to come into the program. But there again, what next? Let's just say there has to be a pathway forward, Chow. All right. And that's again something that's very important. Someone learns golf in a park, and that's fine. You set up a short game area, you set up a small driving range. Eventually, the person is learning golf and they need to get to a golf course. Where's the golf course? There has to be a golf course that has to open their doors to the visitor that is outside of the membership. Now, unless the golf course or the golf club ownership or the golf club membership is going to open their doors up to outsiders, where are those guys going to go? So then you're learning a sport without there being a pathway forward. So then it's again not going to grow. So there again, it comes back to the same point that if you want to have
Yeah,
a nine-hole
I
golf
understand
course,
your
it has
point.
to be a public.
I understand, Mr. Shivas. I got your point. We must require that. Yeah, always we must have that standard golf
Yes.
course around the country. There is no doubt in it. And we have more than 250 courses in India alone, whereas we have in only 22. No problem. But then I wanted to share something like in Corona. You see, golf. I am sure I can tell you days will come when the definition of narratives of golf is going to change. Like Corona has taught us. I have been playing myself. My professionals have been playing all gully golf, basically in drawing room,
Yes.
chipping, putting in front of my house, small land, taken a blanket, hitting the short
Right.
balls, even driver also, like netting like cricket. So what I was just trying to say, yeah, this Corona has taught us that we require to change our narratives and take the golf to the grassroots level. And driving range only alone is very important, I think, infrastructure for learning golf and taking golf along. Only driving range, and then of course that is required. You learn golf and then go and play the like cricket. You always don't play in the stadium, cricket stadium, and then in cricket you say so many evolve. I mean, it is changed. Like IPL cricket, definition of IPL cricket is different than the international cricket. In Bangladesh, BPL is something different. In Asian cricket, something different. So we can also think in those lines and make golf more friendly and take them to the ground, take them to the pro
Well,
people.
certainly, there are several ideas. Like again, I'm coming back to this the same Indian golf company called Plus 91. They're doing some wonderful golf balls that are even glow in the dark golf balls made locally in India. So again, it's pretty cool for a night driving range.
Yeah.
I know that they're also working on a limited distance golf ball. How about that?
Yeah.
How cool is that? A limited
Yeah.
distance golf ball. So
It
it'll
is.
fly 2/3 or maybe 50%. It's a driving range golf ball. It's not for tournament play or anything like that. And there again, that's something that if someone doesn't have too much land, you can still swing a golf club and instead of the ball, if you just hit a pitching wedge or a sand wedge, is the ball flying your typical yardage, it'll only fly 60% of your yardage or maybe even 50%. They've got the technology to dial it back. They do a lot of work for international customers, and now they're making some serious headway in India as well. I've tried their golf balls, pretty cool. So people are making the efforts, but that's only one part of it. The other part of it is someone has to be the landowner, someone has to be the person organizing and running the facility, someone else has to get the permissions from the government. So many different factors come into it, but I really hope that for golf in Asia, Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, golf is developed, because then we're going to give more people the
Yeah.
opportunity to play the game.
So here
Like you
I
said,
got,
USGA has 20,000 odd golf courses.
yeah, Mr. Shivas. I also got some other new audience joining in, a lot of audience. And now Miss Dipali Shah Gandhi. I think she is the
Ciao, can you hear me? Can you guys see me? The rest of you guys who are tuned in, because I think we've lost Chow. I've got my mobile phone here, so if anyone can actually see me, just message me and well, I can just chat about stuff. Okay, so yeah, I get a message that I'm live. So yeah, well, I don't know where Chow is, so a bit difficult for me to answer questions. But just talking about some of the things that Chow raised to us. So golf in Asia, golf in the Indian subcontinent can typically, grow, but obviously not without the government or the authorities supporting us as an industry. It's very important, that the bigger projects, the driving ranges, the golf courses. I mean, guys like us are always there to soldier on. Hey, Chow, you're back.
Yeah, sorry. So I have to go and finish the episode because I lost my electricity there. So if you have anything to say, I'd like to end the show.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Well, I'd just like to say, well, I'll connect with you offline. I'd love to come across to Bangladesh and, work with Golf Bangladesh and, set up anything that you guys need. I have a bit of experience, and if you guys want me there, I'd be glad to be there. And, thanks for these wonderful shows. It's always wonderful for the golf industry to, hear from each other, build their own network. And, yeah, thanks so much again. And good luck.
Okay. So I like to thank Miss Dipali from Titlis India, Mr. JP from PGTI, Miss Dipali Gandhi. She said, in Southeast Asia, some countries people only go to the driving range. So a lot of audience. Thank you very much, all the audiences. If you have anything to say, Mr. Shivas, lastly, yeah. To finish the program.
Just thanks for having me on the show. Thank you. Pali, hello Zubin. Shivas Nath was my chacha, so thanks so much. JP is a great friend and doing a wonderful job at PGTI. Thank you, Chow, and I hope to see you in person soon someday. Thanks again.
Thank you. Looking forward to meet you soon. Thank you.